Welcome to Noah's Ark, where in every episode I have the great opportunity to speak to some of my closest friends and favorite people in Manhattan and figure out what are their stories, why are they living here, how do they stay creative, and what makes them stay in Manhattan and love it so much. I'm learning a lot for sure, and I hope you get to learn a little bit from watching with me. Thanks so much. Welcome back for another episode of Noah's Ark on New York Natives. Well, today I'm very excited because we are coming to you from the Elk in the West Village of New York City, and I am joined by my very dear friend, Honey Dijon. Now, Honey is a young woman from Chicago who I have actually known for about 10 years, and she's a lot of trouble. She has a great sense of humor, but she's also very talented and very smart. So I wanted to,
sweet.
Yeah, well.
Oh, you know.
And I lie.
And you, very well, you always have.
I lie very well. So what I wanted to talk to you about is, you know, when I first met you, I've known about you for a long time just from your work as a DJ and your interest in fashion, your collections of magazines. What was so interesting to me is you're an archivist of fashion.
Yeah.
With so many people being so adamant on being tastemakers or style bloggers or showing off their labels on Instagram, and I'm not counting myself out of that at all.
Since when? Go ahead.
So what I want to know, number one, what is style? And number two, do the clothes make the woman?
I think style is really more about just how you live your life, and that necessarily doesn't have anything to do as far as clothes are concerned. A lot of women use clothes for status. Especially, I think there's so much pressure on women as far as youth is concerned, or their beauty is no longer a commodity. So then the status becomes about things, you know, the most expensive bag or the latest shoe or this or that.
Do you think it can be based on self-esteem also? Because
completely,
like trying to get a job in New York, sometimes a woman would be hired because she has a much better look and the way she carries herself, or how her hair is done, as opposed to a woman who's a much better education and who can deliver.
Well, we all know we're living in the world now, not of merit, but of popularity. So, I mean, that goes across the board with everything. It's not so much about how good you are or how skilled you are, it's about how many followers you have. And I don't need to mention any names about that, but social media has totally changed the game as far as what a tastemaker is. Unfortunately, we do live in a society where everything is based on surface. And I think this sort of bubble is going to burst pretty soon, so hopefully.
When it bursts, though, what happens? What's left?
Well, you know, I really believe in that saying, the cream always rises to the top.
When the cream rises to the top, is it going to taste like honey?
It's well, that's a question. I can give you some. I can give you some phone numbers.
I want the numbers and the receipts.
I can give you some phone numbers, and you can ask a couple of people how well honey tastes.
Okay.
I don't really.
You actually spin records and you make your own mixes, and you've done so well where you travel around the world and you've DJ'd for like Givenchy, Rick Owens, Kim Jones. The list goes on.
Right
now, let's say we were in an alternate universe, and let's say you were not attractive. And let's say you were not
well. That's not. We can't go there.
Well,
that's not possible.
I just want to say.
Okay, you just want to put that out there. Okay, all right.
Let's say you were not attractive and you were not well dressed. Since the clothes do not make the woman, would you still be where you are today based solely on your talent, which is massive? But if you didn't have the package to deliver it,
I think since I work in both club culture and also fashion, they're totally two different animals, but I think most people that have a presentation, I don't necessarily know if it has to do with style. I mean, there are a lot of DJs that just have swag and are cool and you know, and you just have a great presence and great energy. I think that goes a long way, but I think that goes a long way in any profession. This is just who I am, and I just sort of present myself in things that I love, and I think I reference a lot of different things from cultures and music and art and all those sorts of things. So I think that sort of more helps my personality and how I put myself together, which, than just because, I mean, anyone can have labels, so I don't think it's so much about that, really.
And I think that's something that we should definitely take away in this episode of Noah's Ark, is anybody can have labels, but I don't think
anyone
can
have style. Yeah, and like I said, you know, that's, to me, it's, you really have to have a really sense of self and have a really good self-esteem, and Confidence. That's the most stylish thing you could ever have is confidence.
I want to thank my friend who is always on fire, Lady Honey Dijon, a good friend of mine, and I thank you for joining me today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
oh, you're such a sweet pickle.
Well, I love you guys. So join me next time for another episode of Noah's Ark. I can't wait. And this was Honey Dijon.
And my spirit was rebellious, but I wasn't shooting up drugs or,
Right.
snorting cocaine in the subway.
Right.
Like, my rebellion.